Hey, you didn't really enjoy David Lynch's Dune? Well, there's one way we can remember that. Let's just grab our handy-dandy remotes, go on to YouTube, the YouTube app, and look up Frank Herbert's Dune, the miniseries, which is today's discussion. Frank Herbert's Dune is a three-part science fiction television miniseries. It's based on the 1965 novel by Frank Herbert. It was written and directed by John Harrison. The series had an ensemble cast includes Elton Newman as Paul Atreides, William Hurt as Duke Leto, Sakaya Reeves as Lady Jessica, as well as James Watson, Paige Mority, and Ian McNeice. The series released onto the Sci-Fi Network in 2003, and it had 3 episodes, each going to an hour and 30 minutes long. One interesting fact that I didn't really know about this was that the series was distributed, get this, by Hallmark Entertainment. Yeah, Hallmark, the Hallmark Channel. Yeah. The Hallmark company that distributes Christian merchandising and all that. How does that go to science fiction about the Messiah? No idea. Well, one thing that I will say is, compared to David Lynch's version of the classic Dune, this miniseries is actually extremely faithful to the source material, in the fact that everything from the book, well, at least I think everything, is included. Whether it's, well, I mean, keep in mind that each episode deals with sections of the book. Part 1 deals with, you know, the introduction of the houses, House Atreides and the House of Harkonnen, what spices, what all these things are, introducing the worms and all that. And leading to, I believe the first episode ended at, the family being betrayed and getting stranded in the deserts of Dune. So, and then the second episode deals with Paul gaining his new title of, I'm gonna so butcher the heck out of this, Artaba, the Freeman. Well, not the Freeman, shit, I'm sorry. Basically, he basically says, like, I'm the Messiah, guys. And then, basically, he gathers up his followers. Oh, and some of his, like, you know, parts from his house, such as Gurney, who was one of his trainers, basically his trainer to help him in combat, finds him and says, oh, hey, I thought you were dead, man. And then basically they come back and then they say, hey, basically the episode ends with Paul fighting, and suddenly he is given the title. Part 2 deals with Paul, like, leading a siege to take back the planet. And then, you know, eventually he's successful, and as well as, you know, the killing of the Duke. Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. So, yeah. Compared to, say, the David Lynch version, which at the same time I thought was silly with his death and the fact that he gets, like, I think he got slashed, and then, like, his thing from his, like, I think it's like a tube like from his nipple, it gets pulled, and then it gets swallowed by a worm. Compared to this one where he just gets stabbed, and then he goes like, oh, and gets shocked, and then he gets floating in the air. That's about it. So both, like, death sequences are, in a way, kind of silly. But at least this one kind of tried to tone it down, and he doesn't have, like, say, pusses all over his face and all that. So, yeah. And the series ends with Paul finding the last Harkonnen. I'm trying to remember the dude's name. Fuck it. I mean, yeah. Fade. He does his fight with Fade, and then basically Paul wins and all that. So yeah. And then basically he becomes like, say, I'm your new emperor, I guess. And then yeah, he basically, that's what happens, and then the series ends. So one thing that I will say compared to the movie is I like the fact that although in the movie it sort of glances by on how quickly things have passed, whereas this, in the series, Paul and his mother spend a lot of time in the deserts, along the, the tribes and all that stuff. And Paul gets his relationship with Shawnee. I'm probably butchering that, I'm sorry. And then basically that happens, and then, well, sad thing that happens is, one of his children gets murdered. And yeah, that happens. At the same time, like, when I was watching the thing, I would come up to, like, say, is that his mother who gets killed or stabbed? Or was it a nurse or something? However, one thing that I will say that made me think, like, say, but then again, keep in mind this is, put on television. So, one thing that makes me think, like, say, at certain times it was kind of weird, was that at certain times, the series shows nudity, but sometimes it just suddenly has those censorship bars. Well, at least that was what on the version I saw on YouTube. So, however, one thing I'm going to say is, I enjoyed this series pretty much. I thought the effects, even for like a TV series, I thought the effects, even for the worms and all that stuff, were pretty good. The dream sequences were fairly well done. I guess the one thing I gotta say was that, like, by the third episode, in a way I felt like, say, okay, we're almost there, but my gosh, I felt like, say, I need to take a nap, like, because, like, you're spending so much of a journey on this, that it felt kind of exhausting, but once you felt like, it felt pretty good. Once you finished it, you felt like, yes! The adventure is over! At least until we get to Frank Herbert's Children of Dune. And, yeah. In all honesty, I really had kind of trouble trying to say, okay, making, trying to think, like, say, okay, what kind of jokes can I make for this, in all honesty? But, in all honesty, I mean, I've had fun with this one. Yeah, I gotta say the effects for this series were actually really good. At times, the series could be violent, and, I like some of the facts that were in the series. Like, say, the fact that Lady Jessica is like, like, we are not going to be, like, we're gonna be not being sung any water anymore and all that, so we're not gonna do that. So yeah, that's not what's gonna happen. And I will say that at times, all these actors in this series, it feels like they're acting to get those Emmys, which is not a bad thing. And yeah, I will say that I fairly enjoyed it. I thought the acting was very good, the music, the effects. The one thing I will say is that, well, actually no, I will say that I thought the series was actually fairly good and decent. I thought it felt rather faithful to the source. And keep in mind, yeah, I feel like I'm still kind of a newbie to this, even though I had to I watched the David Lynch film, and now by the time this goes up, I've already been watching the Frank Herbert's Children of Dune. So, yeah. And also by that time, I'll probably already have watched the new Dune, but who knows. But in all honesty, I'm going to say this is actually fairly entertaining. Do I have any flaws with it? I will say that, I thought that, okay, that Paul, it seems like he says, like, no, 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 this is my way, I'm the Messiah, and then it feels like he goes, like, he just says, like, like, we're gonna follow my way, I feel like that's how, like, he, like, says, like, at a certain point, he starts saying, like, the rules on our previous planet don't work, I'm gonna take over. So, yeah, I thought the series was pretty good, but what do you guys think? Did you ever watch the Dune miniseries on Sci-Fi Channel when it first came out? I think I probably saw, like, probably commercials for it, because, like, one back in 2003 or 2000, I think I could have. I'm not sure. I think I probably could have seen some, like, ads for this. But honestly, I actually highly recommend this. One of the more gruesome deaths is, one of the younger brothers from the house, Faye's younger brother, basically in the end of the series, he just says like, well, I'm obviously outgunned and all that, and then he just like drops his knife down and goes like, "Argh! Like, I'm gonna take all you people on." But then, like, in a moment, there is like a little kid runs out of the thing, and you feel like, oh, he's gonna like have like a wall or something like that. But no, he has the guy's head in his hands. Oh my god! But okay, yes, you finally had the balls to give me something what I wanted, which was some kind of violence in this series. I mean, the series is, at times it can be violent, but I wish it could be, like, a bit darker. Like, almost very dark. But, in all honesty, I'm gonna say, if you haven't checked this series out, I'd say check it out. And I'd say if you're wondering which one to see first, whether it's the Dune movie from David Lynch or this, I'd say check this out. And then, after seeing this, I'd also say read the book and then see Denis Villeneuve's new film. But that's all I've got to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye bye.